Hi, this is the final post in response to your videos for Chapter 2 from the new Art and Science of Teaching. And there were several things that stood out to me that you guys said in your videos. You know, as we prepare to assess teachers, I thought it was important to remember that when we see teachers planning lessons or units, we should see their formal assessments and their plan for formally assessing students, along with what they plan to do to give them feedback and how they will address areas that students are weak or they haven't mastered. Informal assessments may or may not be a part of the lesson, but we may see them informally assessed when we're evaluating or observing. It may just be dependent on what's happening in the class. I heard many of you talk about how you informally assess your class, and I think the key is that the teacher is watching students so that he or she knows when an informal assessment is needed. This will allow for the teacher to know what direction to take next, and the type of informal assessment may be dependent on what the students are learning at the time. If teachers are reflecting often, they may be able to think back to students from the past and know when informal assessments are needed and what type of informal assessment is best. Pre and post tests will help provide direction for the teacher. I love how the scales can be owned by the student and they can monitor their own progress and take ownership for their progress. In teaching teachers about depth of knowledge this past week in our PLC, I was able to begin some conversations about scales and student ownership of their learning with our math department. And after pre-tests are given, we talked about how great it would be if students get a scale, they place a mark where they think they are on the scale, and have to defend why they think they're there. Then the teacher can give the pre-test back and either confirm what the students think or help them readjust where they really are on that scale. This is a piece of DOK Level 3 strategic thinking where students get to justify their placement on the scale, and as they progress in their learning, they continue to justify using that strategic thinking. Our math teachers are very excited to create a scale together and their assessments along the way for their next unit, so I'm excited to see how that works out. One of you talked about the importance of understanding our data and not just giving assessments to put a grade in the grade book. Wow, how true. And I feel like that's what our elementary teachers do, but not at the secondary level in our schools. You know, that involves having that measurement perspective that you talked about, but to do that we have to analyze that student data, what it reveals to us, so that we can continue to create effective lessons to promote student achievement, and then create those meaningful report cards that our parents can understand and they can see their progress. Scales would work to provide more accurate evidence of what the student has learned in comparison to that percentage grade. I